Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, dare I call it a tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I blow out my extremely dense but very fine natural hair. So if that's of interest to you, please keep on watching. As a little bit of background, I will say that I've been blowing my hair out myself since I was in high school, which at this point is an embarrassingly long time ago. So that being said, some of the coordination that it takes to hold the brush and also the dryer at the same time, it takes practice, and I've been practicing. But you know, in time, as with anything that involves coordination, you'll get it, I promise. If I could do it as a child, you definitely can. And a child that had short hair, had like a bowl cut at the time, and I was able to do it. As far as technique, the reason why I use a paddle brush as opposed to the comb attachment, which I do have the comb attachment for my dryer, but the reason for that is that I find that I get like fluffier results with a lot more movement compared to when I use the comb attachment, although I do have it. And then also in terms of tools, you'll see that the paddle brush that I use is vented, which is really nice for getting the air through. And I do have a Dyson Supersonic. I use it with the flattest concentrator. The reason why I have this is because I almost religiously style my hair once a week, if not more. The goal is actually to do it more than once a week if I have the time. But because I have a lot of hair, for me, it was an investment to financial girls don't come for me. It's not actually an investment, but for me, it was a good use of money to purchase that dryer because I'm a DIY type of person. As y'all see, I've only gotten my hair done twice this year. Otherwise, I'm styling it. So in terms of money, I think I might have spent like $400 on that dryer 3 years ago. So just like I said in my last video, as far as affordable hair care, I'm not going to tell you to buy something just because it's expensive or knock something just because it's cheap, because honestly, when I was in high school, I was using hair dryers from Bed Bath & Beyond that probably couldn't have been more than $25, and again, it was really all in the technique. Last thing before we jump into the tutorial, I also just wanted to share the state of my hair, because I know sometimes people ask about it, and I've made videos about me damaging my hair. So I feel like I've mentioned this before, that I primarily wear my hair in either natural curls, wash and go, or I will do blowouts. And people have asked how I do blowouts when I've commented on other videos, so now I can refer them to this. If you know me, you know I'm always sick. Last month's iteration of me being sick meant that I wasn't taking care of my hair for a couple weeks at a time, and in order for me to be able to leave the house and look presentable, I was slicking my hair back and wearing it in a tight bun, and that resulted in me having to cut maybe that much hair. I would say that's maybe what, 2.5 inches off, especially at the back of my head, because if you think about it, that's where most of the bun is. And I don't play with damage on my hair, but that actually did hurt because I felt like my hair finally got long. So you'll notice in the video though that the shape is shaping. I haven't yet seen how my hair looks curly with this new haircut. But I did minimize the layers that I had. I had a very round shape before, so we'll see how that looks curly. The way that I do the blowout, again, it allows for either you to have curls if you want them, or really it's just a good foundation for any style if you want to do flexi rods, perm rods, whatever after. The way that I show you in the video is how I sleep with my hair when it's blown out, because if we're being honest, it's the chicken or the egg, right? I never learned how to wrap my hair. Y'all about to see in this video, and you know from me having a whole damn YouTube channel that am with thousands of views that I could do my fucking hair, okay? So don't. But I don't know how to wrap my hair. And so I don't wear my hair stick straight ever, in part because I don't know how to maintain it, but I think also at this point I've just gotten so used to having volume in my hair that like seeing myself with a completely straight blowout is like strange. So besides this or like wand curls, I mean, that's as close as my hair gets to being straight. Though I've talked for long enough. Let's get into the tutorial. All right, so I am starting off on towel dried hair. I have this nice little hair towel. It's probably only like $4 from a local discount store. And I wrap that around my head while I am doing my skincare. If I do put on makeup, usually I do it after. But just so that way a lot of the moisture is out of my hair, because it will take longer to dry if my whole head is soaking wet. So you'll see I'm parting my hair into 4 sections and then using Olaplex No. 6, the leave-in, and I used a relatively small amount, just enough to cover my palms, and then I'm distributing that all over that section of hair. Normally I dry my hair in 6 sections, but I wanted to see if I'd be able to do it in 4, if it would save any time. It didn't, just a little bit less parting. Then I'm also applying a heat protectant into my hair because, again, high heat today. And so I'm working that in with my hands. I'm going to go ahead and twirl that section away, and then I'll apply product to my entire head before I start drying. So here you can see how I'm positioning my hands and all of that. In just a minute, I'm going to show you a section towards the front of my head, and that'll be a little bit clearer so that you can see the exact steps that I take. But while we're here in this back section, this first section, I just want to kind of give you a rundown of how long this takes, my technique, all of those things, right? So as I mentioned, I typically dry my hair in 6 sections. Today was my first time doing it in 4. And when I have the 6 sections, usually I split them in half. Today, I did 4 sections and split them into thirds. So either way, really, I'm drying my hair in 12 small sections. The reason why I do that is because, as I mentioned, I have extremely dense hair. One of these quadrants of my head is probably as much hair as some people have overall. And so I want to make sure that I'm as efficient as possible. And that way, as you can see, this section, this is in real time, it's not sped up. This section only took me 1 minute because it is relatively small. So here you'll see that entire quadrant is done. And what I'm going to do now is apply a little bit of mousse. And I'm smoothing it out with a Denman brush before twirling it into a Bantu knot. Today was my first time doing the whole thing with the mousse in this section, but no matter what, I always sleep with my hair in 4 Bantu knots with satin scrunchies to get a curl in my hair and also to keep volume. It's just a great foundation. Now we're really going to get into the nitty gritty because we're at the front of my head. The rest of my hair is done. As you can see, it's in those satin scrunchies. And so I'm starting at my roots, obviously, and slowly making my way down my hair, making sure that the nozzle, the concentrator nozzle, is essentially in the brush. If you look at the brush itself, you can see through it because it's vented. So we want to get as much air as possible through the hair so that way that warm air is able to dry it as quickly and efficiently as possible. So for me to do that back section that you saw that I did the initial Bantu knot in, that took about 5 minutes. And so altogether, this takes somewhere between 20 to 25 minutes to blow out my entire head. I think that might actually even be faster than however long it takes me to diffuse. And so you'll see also that the back part of that section is getting straighter than the front. So I'm just kind of combing through for now. You do want to make sure that your hair is super detangled. And in just a second, I'm going to split that section in half because, again, that back section is just way straighter than the front. The front needs to be straight as well. So there we go. I split that section in half. And then also I'm curving the brush that way so that I'm able to dry my roots. And just maintaining that tension. Sometimes that means that you'll be pulling your hands over your head. Sometimes that means that you'll be going down. Again, I've been doing this for like years now. So there is a little bit of a learning curve. And again, this section is in real time so that you're able to see that I am able to straighten, you know, a little tiny section of my head in about a minute or two. So again, putting that mousse in. And this is that entire quadrant now, not just the section that I just did. I'm going to smooth through that section with my Denman brush. You do want to make sure that this is smooth because depending on how you set that Bantu knot, that's going to determine how the curls come out. And the way that I did this, I kind of wish that the Bantu knot was closer to the top of my head because you'll see that top piece is kind of straight. You'll see once the hair is out, but that top piece is kind of flat, and so that'll affect the curls. But I'm just going ahead and smoothing out that Bantu knot and making sure also that I'm smoothing the hair as I'm twisting it and wrapping it into the knot because we want this hair to be as smooth as possible. And then speaking of smooth, the last thing that I'm going to do before I put a bonnet or a scarf on is just take a soft boar bristle brush and try to smooth out some of the flyaways at the front of my head. So this is the next day, and what I'm going to do is as I take the Bantu knots down, I'm wrapping the section of hair just loosely, they're loose curls, but wrapping it around my finger as I'm separating so that way I'm keeping the curls intact. Again, if you're going to wear something like a bun where you don't necessarily need the curls, like I said, this is a great foundation for like a slick back or something. You don't have to be as delicate with the curls as I'm being. But because I was going to put my hair into the ponytail that you saw at the beginning of this video, that's why I'm taking my precious time. And you see what I mean about the top of that section in the front is just kind of like weird. It's because of where I had positioned my hands. But yeah, I probably wouldn't wear this out based on how it came out, but it was beautiful in the ponytail, and I hope that this video is super helpful to you. And let me know if you try it out.